Frank. Get this game up on the board. Possibly. Where's our warnings? There we go. Health warning. Sensitivity warning. Capcom warning. Autosave warning. Hold on here. This doesn't exist properly. Need to make all the things exist before we can start streaming. Imagine that. Okay. Alright, I think we have functions and such. What? Oh dear. Yeah, okay. Alright, we left off with Monstrous Turnabout. Who's that masked man? Oh yeah. Okay, so last time we were visiting Ninetails Vale. The Ninetails mayor got killed. And we've discovered that our defendant, the one we're defending, is the Tenma mayor. I think it's Tenma. Anyway, April 17, Cuban Manor, foyer. There's no one here. Guess our luck isn't so good when it comes to Mr. LaBelle. Maybe he's out for a walk or something. Huh? Somebody left something on the sill of the caretaker's office window. Oh, it's a TV program guide. Tenma Town Pro Wrestling. Howlin' Wolf versus Pretty Boy Vampire. Blow-by-blow commentary by Timothy Twilight. Oh. Peekaboo, I found you. Yokai of the Amazon. Join the hunt for Tofu Taru. A high-protein yokai said to fight cancer and heart disease. What? There you got 10 parts chain reaction. Starting fill in and demo blocks. Anyway. Oh. Wait, you're actually human? So find out Mr. Bone's treats. Looks like someone circled a pro wrestling match. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Hey, it's a... Oh, Mr. Filch. What can we do for you? I bet you're going to scream, monster. Which isn't really much of a stretch. Ain't nothing I need you to do for me, but what business do you got with my TV listings? Oh no, it just caught my eye. Can I ask you if you watch his pro wrestling program today? Yep, it was a match between a couple of ranked amateurs, though. It was a complete disaster. I reckon even I could have done better than that. I seriously doubt that. TV listings added to the court record. Filch's TV program guide. The afternoon wrestling match was a total disaster. I almost forgot. There's something I wanted to ask you. Mr. Filch, did you see anything unusual around the time of the murder? For example, Ted Mataro or something like that? Huh? Ted Mataro? So you did see him? How clean and shiny your forehead is again, Mr. Loyal, sir. Bet you shine it up every day, real pretty like. Ladies must love it. Don't change the subject. And FYI, that was a really bad attempt at flattery. Jinxie said she saw Ted Mataro flee toward the foyer. So you must have seen him too if you were here. Unless he was busy watching wrestling. Yipes! Wow, I really pushed a button here. Well, did you see anything or not? Oh, my. Oh no. What yokai is this person? Oh no. I'm not allowed to pull this bench just already, or is it just that box? Okay, just that box. That is quite enough. I must ask that you not pester my friend anymore. Yipes, forgive me for being pestered, sir. You are? I'm Florent LaBelle, Beau Divine and personal aide to Mayor Damien Tenma. Beau Divine? More like yokai grotesque. This place is crawling with monsters. Oh, excuse you. What the heck was that for? It was just as the cologne. You had a look of stinky sweat about you. It's from my own original brand of cosmetics called Je suis la belle. Oh, what a heavenly scent. I think you just paralyzed my olfactory receptors. I suppose such a scent would be difficult for a peasant to appreciate. I have you know that is brand number 5. Bonjour. It's my way of introducing myself. Enjoy. Where's my bottle of adieu so I can return the favor? Enough about the cologne. Please, tell us what you saw on the time of the murder. Okay, give me a second. Grab a thing. Sometimes you're the kind of person who needs too many bandages. Alright. It's mean how we can't examine rooms anymore, but I guess they've upgraded how you re-examine the rooms you do examine, so... Anyway, talk. How about keeping Jinxie quiet? I heard you're the one who told Jinxie not to mention that she saw Tenmataro. Why, that little... So she told me she saw the demon, did she? Mr. LaBelle, do you mind if I ask whether you believe in the village superstitions? Oh, please. I was meant to try to keep with traditions. Nevertheless, I will say this. I wouldn't stick my nose in this whole Tematara business if I were you. Bad things happen to those who do. But that much is true. He is one scary monster. That's crazy. You really expect me to believe that monsters are real? You were just going around claiming everyone is monsters. Even me, I was doing it too. Well, you're real, and you sure look like a monster. Look who's talking. So, Mr. LaBelle, you Little Jinxie has an active imagination. Isn't that right, Phineas? That's right. I didn't say nothing especially about Tenmataro. As for me, I only see things of beauty. That's why I could barely see you. Got 2 words for this guy. Total freak. But your alibi, monsieur. Can I ask you what you're doing at the time of the crime? In other words, you'd like to hear my alibi. To think you'd suspect me of all people. Oh, no, it's just a formality. That's right. Questions. How dare you doubt me? That's an affront to beauty itself. You obviously can't see straight. Like that spritz really helped. What were we doing, you ask? Go ahead, Filchy, answer the question. At the time of the crime, we were, in it here for you. Exactly! Good answer, Filchy, good answer. Just repeating what you told me. You said quite enough. Oh, what is with these two? Great, now he's got me talking like that. Okay, alright. Well, we could watch through here. I'm a very busy man, you know. Alright, well, thanks for your help. So these two were in the foyer, but didn't see Tenmataro. Come along, Filchy. Where we going? Oh, right, gotta patch them statements for tomorrow. Eyes! You're gonna dig your own grave with that big mouth of yours someday. What does he mean, practice statements? Now, if you would excuse me, it's time to touch up my makeup. Paul, I know this sounds strange, but Mr. LaBelle seems unusually preoccupied with Tenmataro. Really? How can you tell? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. You see, I can read people's emotions from the tone of their voice. You mean you have good ears? Something like that. People's emotions are expressed in the tones of their voice. My ears can pick up on even the subtlest of tones for some reason. That's an interesting skill, but what do you mean he's preoccupied with Tenmataro? Well, I'm not exactly sure, but it was like he was obsessed with the thought of Tenmataro. That's what I picked up from his voice, in a way. Where we turn, it's Tenmataro this, Tenmataro that. We should go talk to the mayor, too. This sounds like a plan. We need to get to the bottom of that rumor about him wanting to release Tenmataro. April 17, Detention Center. Visitor's room. Something wrong, Apollo? Where'd your enthusiasm go? What am I doing asking the mayor if he's ever thought about releasing Tenmataro? At best, he'll think I'm an idiot. Worst, Oh, he's here! It's so nice to finally meet you. I'm Mr. Justice's partner, Athena Sykes. I'm looking forward to working with you, Mr. Tenmataro. Oh, yes. I look forward to working with you, too. Glad he didn't mind Athena calling him by a completely wrong name. Apollo, he's just kind of gentle looking as I'd imagine. Lucky for you after that blunder you just made. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. There were rumors going around about how you want to, or did, set Tenmataro free. What utter nonsense! Relax. They always assume the worst of me because of the way I look. Those rumors don't have a shred of truth, I tell you. Little touch about his appearance, isn't it? Oh, what he really needs to work on are his people skills. Okay. Tenmataro's revival. So, rumor has it, do you want to push the merger through? In order to release Tenmataro. Of course, that's a bunch of baloney, isn't it? Sorry if I offended you. So that's the talk around town, is it? I can see how that would make you angry. What if Jinxie's schoolmates start teasing her about this? Huh? I must break out of here at once. Her tormentors must be taught a lesson. No, wait. First we have to get you a not guilty verdict. Don't try to stop me. This is about a father's duty to his darling daughter. Hold tight, sweet Jinxie. Daddy's coming to save you. Relax. Look out for your daughter until we can get you free. Is that so? You don't need me to go straighten things out myself? Oh boy, they'd probably call him a SWAT team if he showed up at her school. Oh, right. I had to ask you about the reason behind the merger. Why the merger? It seems like you're rather forceful in pushing for the municipal merger. Did you really want Ninetales Vale that badly? Yes, well, it's quite an attractive prize in terms of tourism. Ooh. Wait, am I feeling what I think I'm feeling? Sure, I played a bit of hardball, but only when I deemed it necessary. I knew it. My bracelet's reacting. What is it, Apollo? Mayor Temin may not be telling the whole truth. Really? How can you tell? People invariably tense up when they lie. That's where my bracelet here comes in. I can sense when the person I'm talking to is feeling tense. Because it begins to feel tight on my arm? No way! You can do that? Wait, so you believe me? Just like that? Well, sure. Each of us has our own special gifts. Oh, yeah. Athena has a gift too, her special sense of hearing. Still, what do you think the mayor's lying about? I don't know, but it's our job to find out. It's been a while since my bracelet last reacted like this. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. First, I touch my bracelet with the X button. Right, now let's give it a whirl. Perceive. Yeah, I remember this feeling of intense concentration. The ability to see the smallest twitch, the slightest frown that no one else can see. It's probably going to be hugely obvious on his face or something. Now, Mayor Temmo was lying somewhere in that statement he just made. And when he lied, a certain habit made itself clear just under his right eye. I just have to shift my viewpoint up and focus on that area. Okay. Alright, I got him now. His nervous tail should appear when he's trying to pull the wool over my eyes. I gotta pour over every word he says, wait for it to appear. When it does, I'll perceive it with the X button. Yes, well... It's quite an attractive prize, in terms of tourism, is it? Uh-huh.
Gotcha!
Mr. Mayor, please, you can trust us with the truth. The truth? I don't understand. When you mentioned tourism, the bottom of your right eye started twitching. What nonsense is this? So what if it did? Please, tell us more about your merger bid. What more is there to tell? Why were you really seeking to merge with Ninetales Vale? I already told you. Tourism. The monster craze really revitalized the village, making it quite the prize. You really don't trust us, do you? What are you talking about? The village has been a hot property ever since the monster craze started, has it not? I think you've yet to realize that what you're saying contradicts the facts. Hot property. Do you say that the monster craze really revitalized Ninetales Vale, so you felt it would be an attractive prize for its tourism, but that would contradict this. Oh, it was the wrestling that saved it.
Take that!
The monster craze at Ninetales Vale is a very recent phenomenon. It was sparked when the amazing Ninetales rose up against the municipal merger. The village was practically a ghost town before then. So, you couldn't have possibly seen it as an attractive prize for its tourism. What's the real reason behind your push to merge Tema Town with Ninetales Vale, huh? Well, uh, 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 uh. Okay, we've reopened a thing. Why the merger? Need to rehydrate after that, though. Heck. So much growly. You ready to tell me the truth now? Honestly, I never wanted to pursue the merger in the first place. But I had no choice if I wanted to protect my darling little Jinxie. Protect you from what? I received a threat. It said either I go through with the merger or my Jinxie dies. What? How awful. Who'd do such a thing? I don't know. But whoever blackmailed me must be connected to the murder. Wait, so you think the blackmailer and the killer could be one and the same? Alderman QB was immensely popular, so you have to ask, who would want him dead? The blackmailer who wanted the merger at all costs had all the motive in the world. Why go from blackmail to murder? A merger protest won't disappear just because the alderman was killed. Could it be, what if there was another reason for the murder? Like what? Maybe the blackmailer discovered Alderman QB's secret identity. And his secret identity was a threat to the blackmailer's merger scheme. What do secret identities have to do with anything, Apollo? I have evidence revealing the Alderman's secret identity. Maybe it's time to use it. Evidence, I'm gonna use that here, is that what we're saying? We're just gonna present the Mascus? I don't think that's quite right. Mayor Tenma, please take a look at this if you would. That's the amazing Ninetales' mask. What is the meaning of this? This mask was almost definitely at the crime scene. And there was some white hair inside. White hair, you say? There was but one person with white hair in the manor that day. What are you saying? You know which man I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about Rex QB, the amazing Ninetales himself. No way! The alderman was impossible. Wait, come to think of it, Alderman QB was a former pro wrestler. So a blackmailer turned killer when he discovered the alderman's secret identity. Didn't I just say that? But yeah, the amazing Ninetales was a threat to the blackmailer's scheme. He opposed the merger and as a result single-handedly sparked the monster craze. But even so, what was a mask doing at the crime scene? There had been an event at the manor. And maybe Alderman QB had taken part in it, if you get my drift? This is absurd. Mr. Mayor, do you have proof of the threat that was made against you? Yes, a blackmail letter. Unfortunately, it disappeared after the murder. I'd been carrying it around in my briefcase, but now it's suddenly vanished. The blackmailer must have taken it with him after they killed the alderman. Well, at least we've clearly established the killer's motive. Mayor Tenma, visiting hours are over. It would appear this meeting is adjourned. Paulo, do you really think the Tamataro that Jinxie saw was a killer? I don't know. All I know is there's no such thing as monsters. What about that newspaper article? Could the killer purposely free Tamataro to do their dirty work? Oh, come on! There wasn't any Tamataro to release in the first place. Yeah, but the only suspects the police have right now are the mayor and a yokai. We'll probably be arguing about whether there was a yokai involved in court tomorrow. I can already see that look of disbelief on the judge's face. Paulo, you alright? I'm fine. I'll think of something. Better, because I can't very well say a flying demon was the killer. At this point, the only thing I know for sure is tomorrow's gonna be one doozy of trial. To be continued. Oh no. Yes, we will save. And we will continue. Because heck, we can. We got an hour and a half left. As long as I can swallow a beverage properly. Okay. April 18, 9:15 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Let's check the... Ooh, like... Like we don't necessarily have the ability to swallow a beverage without wrong piping it, but fuck. No, we did check this. Okay. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all. Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena! Hey! Didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pretrial jitters. By scaring the daylights out of me. No. I find that shouting, "I'm fine," in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Cords of Steel voice workout. Must before every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right. Here, I'll go first, then you try. I'm Apollo Justice. I'm fine. All right. I'm Athena Sachs. I'm fine. I think that actually worked. I thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time. I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse? The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket, you two? Mr. Wright. Just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back, that's all. That's all? That's huge news, but why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. But we can talk about that another time. No fair. Inquiring minds want to know. Wow. I'm so used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology. That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he could make even the most stalwart defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So, he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate at all? Well, so they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. I knew it was gonna be bad news. It's probably just hyperbole. At least, I hope, for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Yikes! Better tone down my cords of steel, too. So, are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Do we have anything different that's changed? Never looked at the TV listings. Denvertown Pro Wrestling. Howlin' Wolf vs. Pretty Boy Vampire. Pretty Boy Vampire. Right, Jinxie's. I don't have, like, autopsy for what the death happened. Suspiciously Tanuki. Alright. Right, Mr. Wright. But I'm fine. I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. The odds of pulling us off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client. Seek your truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice. April 18, 9:30 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Hall of Justice Defense Team Leader is ready, Your Honor. I'd know that big booming voice anywhere. As chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? But who is the young lady next to you? I'm Athena Sachs, Mr. Justice's junior partner and fresh out of law school. Well now, full of beans too, huh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Oh, good heck. Abolish prison. Mm-hmm. Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him, I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Of course, forgive me. Why are all the people related to this case so scary? Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you please. What's the matter? Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It is all right there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Oh, well... Looks like the cat, or in this case the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. But we need an opening statement, as an overview of the case at hand. Well then, Your Baldness, if it's so very important, why don't you do the honors? Oh, me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things, and then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. Selfish old fool. Huh? Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement? Old dotards such as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren, or is it great-grandchildren? All these years I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. But I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace. What? You actually fell for that? Well, that must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about. The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cuby, alderman of Ninetails Vale. And the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, is accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive, the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects, both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive. So, in a nutshell, I'd have to say that the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. Bravo, Your Baldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head. Flattery will get you everywhere. He's playing Simon Says with the judge. Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I'm the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I've been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even old Blackwell. Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. Hydrate? Yeah, I guess we could do that. Thank you, Otter Ishmael. Back. That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you. Prosecutor Blackwell doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright. Oh, you know what they say. Ignorance is bliss. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell. He's so oblivious. Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. Witness testimony about the murder. Alderman Cubey was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Cubey was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Oh, really? Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back. Really? Wow. Alderman Cubey had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug? That's right! The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. Cubey's autopsy report added to the court record. Cause of death, stabbed with a spear. Estimated time of death, around 3:20 p.m. During the wrestling. The victim had been a drug-induced slumber. And the victim managed to attack his attacker, despite being impaled by a spear. That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink. I don't know. It still sounds a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. I didn't sign up for this. And so your life is spared, for now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence, wouldn't you agree, Your Baldness? The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute. Is the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict? The trial's just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tenma Taro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. That mayor's a strange one, all right. I heard he went to a blood drive, but instead of donating, he tried to make a withdrawal. Order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your Baldness, please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenma Taro. Then again... Perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Hey!
Hold it!
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Timber have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement. I think.
Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they?
Prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud.
Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here.
Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. Power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news.
In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than this statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai, to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other, Ten Mataro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case were rendered in art. Fox and Demon statue updated in the court record. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor. The mayor's blood was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Cross-examination
about the murder. Alderman Curie was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall.
Hold it! So, those weapons on the wall of the Fox Chamber, I presume those are real? Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that is rather dangerous?
No matter what he collected, the alderman insisted it be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently, one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle.
What? That's gotta be an old wives' tale.
The alderman had pure, unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right. We've lost a real champion of justice in his death. Nothing but claptrap and balderdash, if you ask me. Now stop your bleating and tell us about the weapon. Your wish is my command. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon.
Hold it! It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prints could be easily wiped off.
You do have a point there. I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prints because he could not.
What do you mean? Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Well, don't just stand there. Show him who's boss. I'm totally lost, so why don't you just tell me the answer already? I don't think he saw that plea for help.
You feeling all right, kid? Running a fever, perhaps?
Wish trials came with a reset button. Guess what? They do.
Well, the specifics may yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright. At the time, Alderman Curie was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested.
Hold it! Come to think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor. Was a sedative in his coffee?
Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup. And that is why he was out cold. That is, until he leapt onto his feet upon being impaled by the mayor.
What an awful way to wake up.
A rather stimulating eye-opener, if you ask me. I, too, would have risen to the attack, for to die in battle is the samurai way. Paradise awaits fallen heroes, but that hole in his stomach would make eating a challenge.
Prosecutor Blackwell, please. Those morbid jokes of yours have no place in this court.
Says the jester and detectives, guys.
Moving right along. Mayor Tedma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. You mean a full-pie shish kebab?
Hold it!
So, the alderman was drugged because he was really strong? Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I was surprised the spear even managed to pierce that armor-like musculature. I admit I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on.
Quite a difference when compared with a yellow belly like you.
Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Yeah, and the color's all wrong, too. Oh, I know. How about a squishy red tomato? I move to strike both of your comments from the record.
Mr. Justice's character is not the issue here. Now, let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was impaled.
Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back.
Hold it!
Could he really have attacked his attacker after being inhaled with that huge spear? Absolutely. After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged, then speared, was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero guise in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here.
Setting aside the half-wit's flights of fancy, the fact is this. The court-ordered post-mortem concluded the victim moved after his skewering.
So he found the strength somewhat to attack his attacker, huh? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight. No wonder he's so confident. No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked.
Okay, so the line about the alderman fighting back. So do I have evidence that says no? Foxy Demon statue. Had no prints on it. He grabbed the statue, and there's no prints. So that's a bark, bark, bark. Trying to see if any of this tells me something. He grabbed a statue. Is that the face of someone who's been hit by a statue? Maybe. I think it's this, because there are no prints. And that's something that should bark, bark, bark.
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find himself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory.
It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory. There are no fingerprints. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look back at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched a statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? This can't be happening. Did I arrest the wrong man? You did it, Apollo. You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse. Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman? Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber? Exactly. And this could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond with defense's assertion? Least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhung blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. It will take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A whelp such as you is no hope against my superior swordsmanship. This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? On your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle, and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. Now, let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used by QB as a head covering? To wipe up blood? To wrap the statue? So, if I want to make Blackwell's case, he would say that the statue was wrapped to hide the fingerprints. But why would you want to do that in the first place if you're trying to use it as a blunt weapon? You don't want it to be padded by... Bark, bark, bark. Also, why is that thing not in my inventory? I disapprove. I'm going to say to wipe up blood and also incidentally thumbnails, though, which is also leaning into his hands. Maybe the cloth was used to wipe up as much of the mayor's blood as possible off the statue. And in the process, the culprit inadvertently erased the alderman's fingerprints as well.
Objection!
But the mayor did not bother to wipe away his own fingerprints on the murder weapon. Why would he wipe down one weapon but not the other? Careful now, use what little brains you have left before you speak. Give me a do-over on that one, please. Let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used a head covering? How would it be a head cover? Let's say it could be like Alright. In the court record, we have such things. Oof, not that thing. Oh no. Because it was under. It was under that chair. Sure, he had it on his head. The alderman is probably wearing it over his head. What? Do you truly think the alderman would show up to a meeting over the fate of his village wearing this ridiculous-looking cloth over his head? Sure. They had a festival that day, didn't they? Who's to say he didn't party a little too hard and just forgot to take it off? Okay, fine. So maybe he didn't do that. Can I try one more time? Let's see. How's that cloth used? Really? To wrap the statue? That doesn't make bark, bark, bark. Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah! Precisely. Bullet for you, boy. Ah, it was nothing. Apollo, don't let him stop manipulating you. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did. Right. That a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints is as plain as day. But this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Whoops. Fox and Demon statue updated the court record. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor, wrapped in a large cloth. 2 pages. Now do you see how dull your mind is? Two pages. Thank you. I can't read. It's just. Oh, here we go. Oh. Statue of traces of blood of the defendant Damon Tenra on it. It was apparently wrapped in a large cloth. Fingerprints of the. Sorry, the defendant's blood was also found. No fingerprints could be lifted from the cloth. Yes. It's Fox-based quackery. Now, do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. A particularly frightening inmate once told me that he always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? Chef? It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Oh, why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer. The real killer. Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you? Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right. Athena, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks allegedly from a yokai were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue. Is the defendant's or is the defense actually suggesting that some sort of monster killed that alderman?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Ah! Sorry. Guess I got carried away.
Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense.
Sorry, Your Honor. It's just, this kid still, well, a kid? Ouch! You meanie! I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright.
So, is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it?
No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. Real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman.
Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that?
Why indeed?
Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is.
Ouch. This I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright is here, in the gallery, watching us.
Poem, Fulbright, explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know the who and why behind those feathers and tracks.
What? You mean you can explain all that?
Our investigative prowess is without equal.
Oh dear. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession.
Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks.
Witness testimony. Feathers and tracks.
This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters. So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted make it look like a yokai was the killer.
Those feathers and tracks stoke the villagers' fears?
Absolutely. He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenma Taro, that is. Tenma who? Tenma Taro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon, and thus were they blinded to other, more plausible explanations.
Hold it!
Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect?
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at QB Manor. And as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenma Taro. Obviously, this person is a much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Dullard, you are playing right into the killer's mind games.
What?
Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed the murder to be the work of the real Tenma Taro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenma Taro suit is the killer. The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman. And thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fulbright. Right! It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing Ninetales was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. But do the people of Ninetales Vale really believe a yokai is behind the crime?
Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds. Just so, a particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest to prey. You don't say. Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap.
Oh, wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey?
Yes, well, now then the defense may proceed with their cross-examination.
Cross-examination. Feathers and tracks. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger.
Hold it!
Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong? Oh, absolutely. They parade around in yokai costumes shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma." And just the other day, they stormed Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers. But when the accused showed his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. For you see, the lowly yokai are no match for Tenma Taro, the Dark Lord of their kind. Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma? Or Tenma Taro? I'm confused. I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy.
Detective Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant would commit such an act?
Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters.
Hold it!
Amazing Ninetales? No one knows his true identity, right? Well, that's right. And he was a lone wolf, or in other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating on one Tenma Town wrestler after another. And before anyone knew it, he was champion.
Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of face for Tenma Town Pro Wrestling.
He was amazing. If there was ever a real superhero, it would be him. I dream of becoming a true champion of justice like him someday. I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He could even team up with Prosecutor Blackwell. A police detective and a prisoner in chains? I think people would actually pay to see that. I know I would.
So you do understand the greatness that is the amazing Ninetales.
So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster.
Hold it!
Did the murder and yokai evidence really stoke the villagers' fears? Absolutely! It had an immediate effect. The presumed return of the dreaded Tenma Taro has them shaking in their boots.
Oh my, is it really that bad?
Superstitious lot. It's as if Jack the Ripper had been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus.
I see. That's a very persuasive argument.
The mere thought of his honor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words? Makes me want to spark my own exodus out of courtroom right about now. So you see, there can be only one reason why anyone would plant those feathers and tracks. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer.
Hold it!
But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean?
You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Cuby? Excellent point. It is, isn't it? So, Your Honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was on the spur of the moment. You're saying it wasn't premeditated? From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery. A startling discovery? I don't like the sound of that. Alderman Cuby's secret identity. Paulo? I think Prosecutor Blackwell's figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Ninetales. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my. But why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-murder movement. Need I say more? Well, Could it really be? Your baldness has had an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Cuby, was the amazing Ninetales. And the mayor's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder. Heck.
Like.
No! Order. What a shocking development. A motive clearer than crystal clear.
Hydrate? Yeah, I could do that probably.
What do I do now, Paulo?
I didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. Hydrating.
I have to swallow what else I'm doing. Heck. All right. Thank you, Elder Ishmael. Oof.
I didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder.
At last we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your baldness? Your baldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona. Just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your baldness. Right, and now take a look at this. The blackmail letter. If you value your dearest life, you will merge Ninetales Vale with Tenma Town. Do not tell anyone about this threat. If you do, consider your dearest as good as dead.
Well, that's super vague. The dearest could be anybody.
This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Cuby's pocket.
Oh, what?
At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that letter is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life.
Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder? And planted it in the alderman's pocket? It's possible. We don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being up a creek without paddle.
Blackmail letter added to the court record. A threatening letter discovered in one of Alderman QB's pockets. Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he'd just left after planting the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the amazing Ninetales. Wait. Planting the yokai things without a murder? Really? Doesn't even make Bark. So it was the amazing Ninetales counterattack that brought the entire crime to light.
Wait a sec. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting yokai evidence? And the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that? Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony.
Yeah, because, like, isn't the layering of the leaves and stuff on the... Oh, yeah, the blood, they're on top of the blood.
It's just like in the last case.
Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks. Yeah, I'm not even going to press that. I already know the barkery about it. There are bloody footprints and black feathers scattered on top of the blood.
Objection!
Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again?
Yes, I'm gonna prove it to you. Take a look at this photo.
This is the crime scene photo, and just what does this prove?
It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted.
But I already told you they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence, then was knocked out while killing his victim.
That would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers were tracks were left at the scene. It proves the items were really there for the crime. The feathers, the heckin' feathers.
Take that!
I hope.
Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice?
Yeah. See how the feathers are on top of the blood? And the tracks were made in blood? In other words, yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder.
Then the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman.
But you said it yourself. The mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene.
Ah, there must be some mistake. Order. Where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you?
Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for it.
You do? But how? Huh? Was my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked?
He's taking this really hard.
Mr. Justice, so is this the Jinxie statement? Oh yeah, because she sees the Ted Mataro sighting, yeah. Mr. Justice, what is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have?
I have it right here, Your Honor. It's a sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tenma, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks.
Come on, Apollo, say it correctly.
Will somebody please say something?
The defense will explain to the court what exactly he means. You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy. Baldness, it appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion.
Hold it!
Paulo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court. What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please hear me out.
Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears, but you had better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about?
Well, it's all in the statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro. After she discovered the crime scene to call the police, she came around the corner in a hall. It's around here. That she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise.
What? How incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before?
The defense just proved there was someone else, so the murderers and the killer was all set up. The prosecutor is a convicted villain after all. Apollo! The momentum has shifted in our favor. Good, now let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken.
My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim?
Consider this. If that yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer, that fool and that fop would have seen him.
Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle. Now that you mention it.
Both Phineas Filch and Florent LaBelle were in the foyer at the time, but they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination?
Why didn't those two see the Tenma Taro impersonator pass by? We asked them ourselves. I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor, to stand. I just know he must have seen something.
I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out of the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will.
Did you just say captured? No, wait, I don't want to know.
Very well, then. Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please?
The name's Filch, Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. This is something I thought you might like.
Oh, my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch.
It's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me Fidget Filch stole them again. They're all yours, your honorship, sir.
What? But they seem awfully expensive.
Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like your honorship.
It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts.
Oh, I think so. Some ethics. Just take them if you want them. Polish them up real nice for you, too.
I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Tenmataro in the foyer after the murder.
Witness testimony. Guarding the foyer. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office, keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree.
That yokai you keep jabbering on about was but a phantom of a little girl's dreams.
So, you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tenmataro? Yep, who was guarding the whole time. And that's the truth, the holy truth, and nutter butter the truth. And Tenmataro? Bah, I don't really believe in that yokai mumbo-jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't. Huh? My bracelet, it's,
Something the matter, Paulo?
my bracelet keeps squeezing my arm.
Really?
So you think Mr. Tanuki, Mr. Fields has been lying to us? I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on a tell, some sort of nervous habit. The thing he's doing right now. Ah! What the? What's a hawk doing in here?
Oh no. Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seemed to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse, made it his new home, in fact.
He doesn't live with you. You know, in jail? Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird?
Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud, and that queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard.
This isn't some sort of trick or... Ah! I won't be able to spot squat like this. What the heck's going on around here? Run for the hills.
No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Oh no.
Keep blinking at him, Judge. See if he flies off.
Ah! Somebody help. Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed.
It's like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. Oh, we'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Tenmataro there, Phil should have seen him. We'll just have to put our faith in Jinxie's statement for now.
Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Cross-examination. Guarding the foyer. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, why did Alderman QB have you handle guard duty? Because he trusts me. I am the manor's caretaker after all. So, you took said guard duty seriously? Well, let me tell you something about me. I'm, Yipes!
Listen here, you little tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. The court wishes to hear what you did or didn't see in the foyer and naught else.
Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir. Blackwood's got him completely under his thumb. Like I said, I was guarding the foyer entrance that day. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest.
Hold it!
Guest? So no one could get to him. Sounds like security was pretty tight. That's because there's lots of sneaks and thieves around festival time. And the solution was to entrust the manor's security to a thief? That's not even funny. Maybe it's a matter of stopping thieves by hiring one. After all, it takes one to know one. I don't know, it seems more like letting the fox guard the hen house to me.
So the witness testifies that he took his guard duties seriously.
Yes, sir, your honorship, sir. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m.
Hold it!
Did you really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time? Poor old Filchy. Been working hard my whole life. Only to be smeared by some greenhorn in his fancy suit and silly haircut. Sorry, Mr. Blackwell. Sir, didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh. Blackwell didn't even say anything. To answer your question, yes, I kept an eye. No, both of them, in fact, on the foyer. You did not. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no sirree.
Hold it!
Could you describe the court who you would consider fishy-looking? Someone all fitty and shifty-like, like they're about to steal something. He just described himself. I wonder why Mr. Filch didn't see Timotaro. Maybe Jinxie only thinks she saw Timotaro. Or maybe Mr. Filch is lying. Is it lying? If he's lying, he might be able to spot a contradiction in his testimony. Heck. Alright, so... So an objection to this. You're watching TV.
Objection!
Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Filch. Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fellow like that. Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. Me? Yeah. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss. Oh no. Heck. Ah! I didn't watch that one, no sirree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, right? Yipes! Not only that, you even told me you watched. You said, and I quote, it was a complete disaster. So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trip me with your Rudy Poodle lawyer talk. I'm one of the professional types, too. I can do double duty watching TV in the foyer at the same time. The only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is professional thief.
Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness was slacking off?
That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV in the foyer at the same time. That's nothing but a bald-faced lie.
Bald, you say, but I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch is lying about watching TV in the foyer simultaneously.
No, prove it. They only have the one TV to watch both video footage and stuff with. And he would have to be looking the other direction.
Take that!
Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ear should be, Tanuki magic! I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time.
Why, yes, someone watching TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance.
Exactly. And that means, Mr. Filch, you were slacking off and were not watching the foyer as you claim. Yipes! The bags of the cat! They're around.
Order, order, order. But Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case?
It's very relevant because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really could have been a Tenmataro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
What now? Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about?
This.
Not a mind reader. Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. Right, Tanuki? They were? Yes. Yes, they were. But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't? My eyes may be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have hurt anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on them. Creak, creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So, you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yeah, my ears were working full time, so who's alive now, you no good shyster? No leaf clover, hey howdy, welcome in. Just stopping by, appreciate. Hope you're doing well. A lying thief calling me a shyster? This has to be the low point of my fledgling career. Got to hand it to you, Mr. Blackwell, so you really are something else. You don't miss a thing, and then bags under your eyes they're darker than mine. A fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Yipes! Please don't eat me, Mr. Taka, sir!
The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly.
Witness testimony. He is working overtime. Oh no. Heck. Alright. I think we're getting too close to the end of our time to start a new interview. So, I'm going to call it here. And come back next time on Dual Destinies. Bark, 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 bark. Where's my heckin' save button?